Okay,
a live light.
call this council meeting / work session for September 13th, 2016 to order. Mayor, not the mayor. Clerk call the roll.
Cavode,
Here.
Dries,
Here.
Halter,
Here.
Hermes, here, Lee,
Here.
Walther, here, Moore,
Here. Okay. Prayer by Mr. Dries.
Lord, thank you for this opportunity to serve our community. Pray that you would bless everyone here that makes decisions on behalf of the citizens. I pray that you would give us wisdom to do that. Thank you for our public safety people and our public works people. I pray that you would bless all the citizens of our community. Pray this in the name of the Lord. Amen.
Amen.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Before we start on the first resolution, Yvonne wanted to give us an update, or do you want to talk about any of this before we start?
Actually, I was going to review the three of them, unless you'd like to do that as each one comes up. What do you think would be the most efficient?
As each one.
As each one? Okay.
Okay, all right. So we have Resolution 2016-19-F. Mr. Dries.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution 2016-19F, a resolution authorizing the municipal manager to enter into an agreement with Anthem for providing health insurance coverage for the employees of the Village of Greenhills, whereas the Village of Greenhills provides health benefits for eligible employees, and whereas the village has utilized Horan and Associates to request and review proposals for health insurance coverage from various carriers and determine that the proposal submitted by Anthem is the best proposal for the village in terms of quality, service, and adaptability, and reflects a continuation of the current plan. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, Section 1, that the municipal manager is hereby authorized to enter into an agreement with Anthem for the purpose of providing health insurance for eligible employees for a term October 1st, 2016 through September 30th, 2017. Section 2, that the village will continue to offer a dual option plan and will pay the same employer contribution dollar amount for both plans. The dollar amount is based on 80% of the highest priced premium plan. Section 3, that the finance director is hereby authorized to pay Anthem monthly premiums totaling an annual amount of approximately $119,200, said amount fluctuating depending on the number of persons enrolled in the plan. Section 4, that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon adoption. Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this resolution.
second.
Okay. And moved and seconded to adopt this resolution. Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like the manager to provide just a little commentary on the work that was done to come up with the bid, and then kind of just maybe some comments about where we were last year and this year.
Sure, and I will be sharing this with Matt, who has really taken the lead on this year.
Yep.
If I can tell you the basics, though, our renewal is October 1st, and it's a 24% increase. Matt, if you want to review, like, how many people they looked at, and stuff like that?
Yes. Whenever we went out to bid, we only had 2 carriers who came back under 50%.
Yeah.
We had
Under 50%
Incredible.
increase?
increase. Yes. We had Anthem at the 23.5%, and we had United Healthcare at 27.5%. And based off of some various things in our group, there were 4 carriers who did not even provide us with a quote. Let's see, and the amount $119,200. That's a increase from about $84,000 last year. That's due to the increase in premium as well as the additional employee for the police department. Any questions?
Obviously, our job is twofold here. One, to make the best decision on behalf of the citizens for the dollars that are spent by the village, but this also impacts our employees pretty significantly too, because they're taking it, while we're continuing to provide 80% of the highest price premium plan, this is a 24% increase to our employees too. This is fairly painful.
But it's not expected in the current marketplace. I mean, this is what I'm hearing and actually personally seeing in our own company. So it's unfortunate.
We've been really lucky, I guess, the past few
Yeah,
years.
I was going to say the
be
last few
having,
years
like,
we've been in
anywhere from 2 to
low
5%,
to
so,
mid single digits. Yeah.
Really lucky. Finally hit.
Yeah, and again, there is one more employee in this versus last year at this time, correct?
But it's 24% increase of the premium or 20?
Of the premium.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Plus
that
one
also
more person.
translates to
More than that.
More than that because of the
Yes.
Okay.
And how did we have a lower plan that's offered as well. Did that have the same amount of increase?
Yeah, it was just an across-the-board increase of the 23.5%.
I rounded up to 24.
No, that's
Sorry.
Okay. No more discussion?
Matt, what do we? Yeah, just my last comment. I forgot to ask you this. What do we have in the budget for 2017 for this expense? Because I'm sure that we don't have.
I had originally budgeted at 10%, but we'll be changing.
Yeah.
Will
Okay.
we need to do a supplemental for the remainder of this year?
That's yet to be seen with all of the fluctuations in the police department.
Okay.
Okay. Clerk, all those in favor, have the clerk call the roll, or not the roll, but
Kavod,
Aye.
Drees,
Aye.
Halter,
Aye.
Hermes,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Walther,
Aye.
okay, resolution 2016-19-F passes. Next resolution, 2016-20-SNS. Mr. Kavod.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution number 2016-20-SNS, a resolution authorizing assessments on certain properties in the village of Greenhills. Whereas the village has given proper notice to the owners of certain real property in the village of Greenhills regarding the removal of vegetation, refuse, garbage, and/or debris from the properties listed below. Whereas the owners of said properties did not take action to remedy the violations, and therefore the village of Greenhills contracted to remove vegetation, refuge, garbage, and/or debris, and now seeks to collect said expenses by authorizing the placement of a lien upon the lands and collect it as other taxes. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the council of the village of Greenhills. Section 1, that the village council hereby certifies that the cost of such labor, together with the expenses relative thereto, be filed on the return and statement to the Hamilton County Commissioners as an assessment against the properties listed and placed as a lien against the properties by the auditor of Hamilton County, Ohio, as follows. Description 597-0070-0226, 13 Chalmers Court, Michael E. Ratliff, $186.91. Description 597-0070-0234, 3 Chalmers Court, Chalmers Townhomes LLC, $1,071.33. Total $1,258.24. Section 2, all amounts collected as a result of this resolution shall be placed into the general fund of the Village of Green Hills. Section 3, the resolution shall be effective immediately upon its passage. Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt this resolution.
Second.
Okay. Discussion?
Real quick, is this going to be similar to what we're going to be doing for, I think we've talked about the garbage? Because
Yes.
this is more land, I'm assuming this is more grass cutting and things
Actually,
like that.
we have one of each in this particular one.
Okay.
We have one grass cutting, which is the first one, and we have one garbage collection, which is the second one.
So that's like
But you-
somebody moved out or something and just left everything at the
Correct.
street.
So you are likely to be seeing more of those
Okay.
as the situation warrants.
Now, do we bill them first, and then if they don't pay, then we
Yes.
go this route?
They have 14 days to pay,
Okay.
and if they don't, we put it on taxes.
And we do this once a year?
No, we do it as often as we can do it, really, to get it
Okay.
onto the tax bill so we can collect our money as quickly.
And do you have a picture you can share of
I
what that
sure
garbage
do.
looked like?
It's just the,
It was the one, if you remember, on,
It was disgusting.
Oh, my, yes,
it was
yeah.
just absolutely
I think it
horrible.
was
Oh, my.
3 trucks to haul it away, Saturday and
This
Sunday.
is the after.
That's
So,
nice.
What we want.
Better
Yeah,
one,
that was
better
really,
two.
it's a really a bad situation, the worst I've seen, certainly.
Yeah, I have a question. I was asked that there was a particular citizen that has some health issues, health problems, and the person in question received a letter because it was tall grass, etc. And they had some member of the family came one time and did one part of it, a neighbor did another part of it, etc. And this person could not do it herself. And they didn't know what to do because they received 2 letters in a row. I suggested to get in touch with the village, because if you know that somebody is going to eventually take care of it and there is a critical situation, it's not abandonment or anything like that, do we have provisions for that?
Usually, all we want to know is that there's a plan to take care of it.
Okay.
We certainly can't just let situations continue.
Oh, I
So
understand, I
we have to have a
understand.
plan. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it sounds like they were working out
I was on the
plans
B
to try to-
section, and
Or
that
take care of it.
I suggested, because I just suggested to make sure
Mm-hmm.
they came in touch with you or somebody in the office that would be able to direct them.
Mm-hmm.
Because certainly if there is a hardship case, I'm sure that we have some provisions to work it out.
Right. Usually what we're
Okay.
looking for is a plan
Okay.
to deal with it. But again, depending, something like grass that just continues to grow.
Well, this was like an in-between. Somebody did the front, and in between, the back was not done, or the sides were, somebody else was doing that, and in between, they got another letter, et cetera. So as long as they come and talk to you, you can work it out with the people, right?
Should be able to.
You will be able to. Okay, so I said the right thing then.
Sounds
Right,
like.
Okay,
right.
all right, thank you.
And the village had received complaints from others about that.
Right. That's
Correct.
the other piece of it. Realize that we get complaints.
Okay.
So we have to
All right.
act.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. Wait, we've got a vote here, don't we?
Reeves,
Aye.
Halter,
Aye.
Hermes,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Walther,
Aye.
Kavod,
Aye.
Okay, resolution 2016-20 SNS passes. And next resolution, 2016-21-CD. Mr. Halter.
Yes, I have resolution number 2016-21-CD, a resolution establishing a temporary moratorium on all signage permits in the Village of Green Hills. Whereas the Green Hills Planning Commission has considered a number of amendments to the zoning code of the Village of Green Hills,
Can we wait
including,
to discuss it first?
You read
we
through.
discuss it after
Oh,
after
okay.
it's read through. Including an amendment to signage requirements and regulations, and the commission has conducted a public hearing regarding said amendments and have now forwarded said amendments to the Village Council. And whereas Village Council has set the date of September 27th, 2016 for a public hearing, and council will act upon the amendments soon thereafter. And whereas the proposed amendments to the zoning code of the Village of Green Hills will provide significantly revised regulations for signage in the village, and it is in the best interest of the village to not approve sign permits until new regulations are in place. And whereas the council of the Village of Green Hills has determined that enactment of temporary moratorium on the new signage is needed because of changing conditions in the village center and in order to achieve the purposes of the comprehensive plan to improve the economic vitality of the village with signage that is both functional and aesthetically pleasing, delaying the design and installation of signage while the village considers new regulations and requirements for signage that is not consistent with the comprehensive plan and with the proposed amendments to the zoning code of the Village of Green Hills. And whereas a moratorium is intended to delay all sign permits and to allow the village to adopt the proposed changes to the zoning code, and whereas the council has received the recommendation of the municipal manager to institute such a moratorium, now therefore be it resolved by the council of the Village of Green Hills, Ohio, Section 1, that there is hereby established a temporary moratorium for all sign permits within the Village of Green Hills for a period not to exceed 90 days, and until such time as the proposed amendments to the zoning code have been adopted and become effective. Section 2, that during said moratorium period, no permits or certificates of any kind shall be issued related to signage. Section 3, that council hereby determines that such moratorium on signage is necessary to achieve the purposes of the comprehensive plan by delaying further signage until such time as the amendments to the zoning code have been adopted and become effective. Section 4, that this resolution shall take effect and be enforced from and after the earliest period allowed by law. I move to the adoption of this resolution.
Second.
Discussion.
Should I just leave the words at this point? Okay. I am putting this in front of council at this point in time. I feel, time is of the essence here to get this moratorium in place. I've had discussions with our attorney who feels this is a textbook case for a moratorium. We're not just thinking about doing something. We've already had one of our governing bodies, the Planning Commission, review it, approve it, and recommend it to council. You have now set a date for a public hearing, which is the September 27th for your consideration of this item. So, we're able to put timing into it. So I just really think we need to be moving with this right now. We've struggled with the shopping center for years and years and years and years and years. And the signage is a large part of why it looks the way that it looks. We're moving forward with some updated signage. We've taken pictures of all the current signage that I'm happy to distribute to anybody who wants to take a look at it. But the impact that has and the impact that better signage can have down there is just amazing. Right. And for us to be so close to putting some new regulations in place, should council decide to do that at their next meeting, and for permits to go through at this point in time, I think would be a shame. Realize that might be a sign that you live with for 20 or 30 years. And that's, I think, would be an unfortunate circumstance this close to possibly having new regulations in
And
place.
the other thing, I'm sorry, did you
No, go
know?
ahead.
The other thing is, this is something I feel very strongly about, not only from the village standpoint, but from the business owner's standpoint. It's important to look professional, and the channel letters really allow that to happen. If there's a special case later on, they can get a variance. But we have to raise the bar, and I've looked at a lot of communities. I've gone and photographed multiple places. I can only find, I would say 1.5, but one shopping center that has similar signage as our own, and it just does not look good. I've got a picture here I can forward around to you. But I do think if someone is serious about business, this is an important part of business. And, a flat piece of plywood, just painted, hand painted, is not what we want as our gemstone of the village, in my opinion.
I respectfully disagree. I feel that for a moratorium vote, we should have had some kind of a work session prior to that. I also feel that the uniformity that's being asked, I also have gone to many shopping centers and drove around, including to Indiana, etc. I feel that it's treading almost into a freedom of speech on that situation, imposing that. Also, I feel that a discussion on the work session, I was really surprised to find this, because what I was expecting to see was what Mr. Forbes announced, that we should have a work session, a moratorium about the marijuana issue. And I was really surprised to find this in here without any previous discussion. I think also that none of us have a business in there. And I understand that you want certain signage discussed so they will not be offensive. But there are some rules and regulations already in the zoning codes for that. And my hope was that we would have some kind of a different approach, so which any person that would have a particular personality could express that on the logo or the signage. Let's just say, this is not a case in question, but let's just say that Skyline would like to open one in here, and we said, no, it doesn't conform to our lettering, because it doesn't. That's going to be a situation that I feel that is going to hinder us more than help. And I asked a few people around, like I said, and I went to different places, and the one thing that bothers me the most is the treading into the freedom of speech and the
How is that
freedom-
treading on the freedom
Well,
of
the
speech?
expression of themselves, because when you express yourself, it is
Well,
somewhat
if
a
it's,
freedom of
if it's
speech.
that offensive to them, they can apply for a variance.
Yeah.
But why are we?
They just can't do
taking-
it for the next 90 days. That's
Can-
the only difference.
Yeah, can we take a step back? What I understand is this moratorium is just to put a pause on getting sign permits until the hearing to talk about the issues. So this isn't talking about what the signs look like. This is just saying, let's not issue signs because we've had the public hearing in the Planning Commission, and we're having a public hearing on it next meeting on the 27th. So we're just saying for the next 2 weeks, let's not issue any permits, and then however long it takes if we passed a zoning code, either how it's presented or with variations, how long does it usually take to go into effect?
30 days.
It's just
Well,
good,
after
yeah.
approval, 30 days.
It's just,
And the only thing that I guess would be, what happens if we vote not to approve the amendments, then it still has the remainder of the 90 days. So I
but
would,
also, what if we are delayed for some reason too, so.
okay.
And also, even if it would not pass, okay, after 90 days, then business as usual. So I think the purpose of this, like any moratorium, is to say time out, no matter if you're for it or against it. We have a platform for the public to speak into this, and we have a platform for us, the next time it comes up, for us to discuss it. What you don't want to have happening is someone looking at it and saying, I'm going to scramble, I'm going to make a change now, when we already have something that's recommended. So it makes sense. And the other thing too is, I really have an issue with exaggerations of freedom of speech. This is not about freedom of speech. They can put what they want on the sign. It's about legibility, it's about being professional, and it's about having a benchmark of what is good business and good signage. I've done this for many, many years. I've got an example here. The flat signs are usually, the type's too small, they fade faster. Even if a channel letter sign fades, you still can read it. And it just, I don't understand why it would be that big of an issue and how it goes over into freedom of speech at all.
Well, I feel very strongly about it, and I also feel very strongly to the fact the way it was presented. There was not a preamble to it. It's just here, the moratorium is here to a vote.
How would we have done it otherwise?
Well, to have some kind of a work session, like Mr. Forbes suggested for the next one.
Right, but then the purpose of the moratorium, you're actually leaving a window open for somebody to change from the Planning Commission's point. It makes no sense to leave a window open to have people scramble to make changes if you're considering a
Well,
serious
you
change.
still have some input on what can be done by the
Well, they can
original.
they can come on the 27th.
That's in
and have-
there.
Yeah, they can come on the 27th and have input. And also, a couple other things. Some of the pushback has come from somebody, as far as I know, who is trying to rent space in the shopping center now. So it's not like we're getting pushback from the rest of the residents. And if you ask the residents, what do they think of the shopping center's aesthetic and functionality? they won't think very highly of it. So I think we should step up to the plate and finally start enforcing some of this stuff.
Well, the problem has been also, we have not enforced what we currently have.
Well, we're in the process of doing that. I mean, there's been zoning violations issued, and there's
Sunset
things-
laws that have not been observed either, and, you know, et
Doesn't
cetera.
that go into effect in
Not
October?
on October, right.
So if it's going to happen in October.
And I'll comment on putting it before you tonight. Yeah, I felt it was my obligation to put it in front of you. I deal with the shopping center and what's going on down there on a daily basis. I'm aware of potential new tenants, you know, which could result in new signs. And again, when we are so close to having something to coordinate that hideous signage down there. And, you know, that's something that I've heard from council members, that people, the businesses have complained that nobody can see them, they don't have good signage. No, they don't have good signage, and now with all the trees down, you still can't read those
Well,
signs.
we still cannot read the ones that the
So-
Troubadour has.
You can't read the Troubadour?
No.
You know what? We
The
can-
lighting of that and the lettering of that, I cannot.
Well,
Okay.
Anyway,
All right,
so-
well, let's call for the vote.
Halter,
aye.
Hermes,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Walther,
No.
Cavode,
Aye.
Dries,
Aye.
All right, Resolution 2016-21-CD passes. All right. And we have a motion to convene into executive session to discuss the employment of public employees. Mrs. Hermes?
Yes, I have a motion to convene into an executive session to discuss the employment of public employees. I so moved.
Second.
Are we going to have anything afterwards as a result? Just a
There-
work session, or?
We'll just have a work session
Okay.
after.
Yeah.
Okay,
Do we have,
we do
Do a roll call on that?
a roll
just
call
do-
vote?
Hermes,
aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Walther,
Aye.
Cavode,
Aye.
Dries,
Aye.
Halter,
Aye.
Okay,
And
going into executive session.
Can we take this out?
Yeah.